Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kenda Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have an anonymous female left behind spouse. Her bomb drop was December of 2021 and her date of marriage is 2003. She says she has an at-home MLC, or that means he hasn't moved out yet. So regarding contact type, we don't know if he's distant or close because he's at home. Sometimes you can begin to tell if they're more clinging, but otherwise we don't know what will happen when he moves or if he moves. His energy level, she's not yet familiar with what the term is, so she doesn't know energy level yet. She says 7 months in and he still sleeps in another room. We talk as friends. He went shopping with me this weekend. We're intimate off and on. We have dinner together, but our anniversary just passed and he still doesn't want to be married. The classic, he needs to go find himself. He took responsibilities too young, was never happy, didn't feel loved, or wants us to be friends. How do I stop being in the friend zone? Do I file for divorce? I can't take the rejection of him being in another room and not knowing if there is an alienator, emotional or physical. He's not making any effort towards us or to help himself. So I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be hard to hear. But supposing you're at a midlife crisis site. Supposing this is a midlife crisis, he's not going to start working on himself. He's not going to make an effort to help you or to help himself. He's not going to change his mind yet and start wanting to be married. Or when he does that, it'll be mixed messages back and forth. This week it'll be this one. Next week it'll be the opposite. MLC is 3 to upwards of 7 years. And for those years, they're running opposite you. They're running away. They're escape and avoid. During escape and avoid, at least. You're not going to see him wanting to do any of those things. How do you stop being in the friend zone? I'm glad that he wants you to be friends. You don't. You really don't. You can have these talks with him, and you need to get your act together. But if it's a midlife crisis, now that's an if. And that's not going to work. That's just pressure. Midlife crisis, he needs to have the space. Do you file for divorce? That's up to you. But that's not going to solve the problem of now he'll change his mind because he realizes, oh my God, I'm about to lose her. Now, if it's not a midlife crisis, or if it's more of a mild transition, who knows? Have you been in counseling? And when I say you, I mean you, not couples counseling. You can do couples counseling. Midlife crisis, it not only doesn't work, it can actually be traumatic. I'd rather say traumatic than dangerous because sometimes they come out in this safer space and they make the accusations, or that's where they reveal the affair. The counselor starts taking sides. It can be a bad situation. There's some that work also, but it doesn't work for helping your marriage. So what I recommend is that you are in counseling. I want you to have some form of therapy for helping you deal with this. Deal with the possibility of an affair. Deal with the possibility of a divorce. Deal with, how do I handle having a spouse who is depressed? Because he's at home. He's moved to another room. You talk as friends. He goes shopping with you. You're intimate. Dinner together. He doesn't want to be married. But what is he doing to find himself? Now, MLCers do things to find themselves. It's just negative behavior things. Like, I'm having an affair. I'm finding myself. I'm out there partying. I'm finding myself. I'm trying on new clothes and doing exciting adventures, which can be good, except they're doing it in the manner of destruction of everything else in their life. Is he even doing any of that? And I'm not saying that one way or another. That will tell you whether he's a high energy replayer or a low energy wallower. Most of them who are at home for long after bomb drop are more low energy. It's only been 6 months, so that may or may not be, but since you don't know that there's an affair, I'm leaning more towards low energy wallower. If he appears to be depressed, the lower energy, the shoulders in, the not making eye contact, rather than high energy is angry, being more overt and outspoken, running away, rather than turning inward and withdrawing, running away still, but not physically running, just inward. Doesn't talk much. Maybe stays in his own room. He could go into a man cave, but if he's still in the same house, not really running away. That's more low energy. So you may have a low energy wallower. MLCers leave. That doesn't mean he will or won't. Low energy wallowers are less likely to, but they do. MLCers have affairs. Low energy wallowers try to be high energy replayers, and it fails for them. They still have affairs. It's not a guarantee. They're less likely, but they're still, more of them have affairs than don't. So prepare for those things to be a possibility and prepare for how you're going to handle them. What do you want to get out of filing for a divorce? Do you just want this to be over? And by this, I mean the relationship now. Not the what you had, because of course you wished this hadn't happened. But you just want it to be over and move forward with your life on a new path. Then file for divorce. If you want to stand for your marriage, then no, don't file for divorce. Unless you have to do it to protect yourself financially, protect children, anything like that. He's not going to make an effort. In midlife crisis, he's going to go inward. And he is going to avoid. That's why it's a midlife crisis rather than a standard midlife transition. He's going to avoid working on himself. He is an escape and avoid because bomb drop was only 7 months ago. He's an escape and avoid, and that's what it is. It's avoiding the changes. It's avoiding the transformation inside because of fear. What it means. What are they doing? Are they worthy? He's going to avoid all of that. He doesn't want to face it. He doesn't want to face his shadow self. Things about himself that he maybe doesn't like or he's ashamed of. And they're coming up now. They're bubbling up to the surface. And it's going to take time. These things take time. So if you haven't already, I want you to go look over the course, Understanding Midlife Crisis. It is free. Because that'll help you understand a little bit more about what all the terms are and what's going on and what to expect in a midlife crisis. Okay? I hope this was helpful. I will see everybody in the next question.